It's said that the story of Japan starts with a guy named Jim. Now, Jim's lineage is a bit crazy, and really the full story goes back 6 generations, so for this, let's settle with his grandparents. We'll zigzag around a bit, but I think the order in which I'll explain this makes it the most digestible. Jim, the first emperor of Japan, was the youngest son of a guy named Ugaya Fukiaezu. We'll call him Uga for short. Uga's dad's name was Hori, and his brothers were the second generation of heavenly beings who traveled to Earth, and this story starts with them. Hori was a hunter, and the youngest of 3 brothers. He didn't fish a lot. Hori's older brother, Hoderi, was a fisherman, and he fished all the time. He had a magical fishing hook. Their dad's name was Nin-Igi. He emigrated from heaven with the 3 sacred items of the Japanese imperial family: the mirror, the sword, and jewel. For the record, their mom is the goddess of Mount Fuji. One day, Hori asked his brother to borrow his magical fishing hook. He said, "No, you don't know how to use it." Hori took the fishing hook from behind his brother's back and tried to use it anyway. It fell to the bottom of the sea. When Hori told his brother that he stole it and lost his hook, Hoderi said that he wouldn't accept a replacement, and that if he was truly sorry and truly wanted forgiveness, he better go find the original. Many attempts at finding that hook later, he noticed that there was a beautiful woman also swimming at the bottom of the sea. He signaled for her to follow him, and they surfaced together. And while waddling at the surface, she introduced herself as Toyotama. She asked what Hori was doing down there, and he explained that he was looking for his brother's magical hook. She said that she could probably help him and took him to meet her father, the king of the ocean. With his help, they found the hook in no time. Hori was invited to stay at their undersea palace, which he did for several years. Toyotama and Hori got married, and life was going great. But one day, feeling a little homesick, Hori said to his now pregnant wife that he would return to the surface, and that she should join him. The timing was difficult. It would have been more convenient for Toyo to give birth in her undersea palace, surrounded by family and servants. But she was convinced to have birth on land. When Hori and Toyo surfaced, Hori returned his brother's magical hook and began to construct a home on the shore for them to live. Rather than use reeds to build a standard thatched roof for their home, it was Toyo's request to use feathers from a bird called the great cormorant. There was a pile of them on the floor, and so Toyo laid on top of the feathers and prepared to give birth. She said to Hori, "I yearn to give birth in the manner of my homeland, so please, during the birth, you must not look at me. Promise me." Hori thought these words were strange, but he assured her that he wouldn't look. During the birth, he heard strange noises from the house, and curiosity got the best of him. It turned out that Toyo was a sea monster, a dragon crocodile humanoid thrashing around on her belly, trying to push out a bulging infant which was slithering around on the inside of her. Hori, absolutely frightened by what he saw, screamed in terror and took off running, never to be seen by her again. Toyo was so embarrassed and disheartened by this that after the childbirth, she crawled back into the water and swam to her father's undersea palace, never to return to land again. She named their son Ugaya Fukiaezu, the name stemming from him being born on a thatch of Ugaya feathers. Toyo asked her younger sister Tamayori for a life favor, to live transformed above land and raise her son Uga in her place. Tama must have been absolutely gorgeous as well, because when Uga became a man, he couldn't refuse the lust for his aunt and ended up having 4 children with her, the youngest of which was Jim, the first emperor of Japan.